Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cooking with Carmel. I am Stephanie and I am the owner of Carmel Kitchen. And joining us today is my daughter, Madeline, because Elizabeth is traveling. She's on her way home from a well-deserved break, and we are excited to have her back with us next week, but we are also super excited to have Madeline joining us. So she's a junior in high school, but she has 2 college classes that she takes right in a row, and it just happened to land on Tuesday, and Tuesdays are the days that she doesn't have those classes, so she gets to be here with us. And she is my one who loves to be in the kitchen, loves to bake, so she's going to do what I normally do, and I'm gonna try and do Elizabeth's job. I'm not gonna do it justice, but I'm not gonna smile as pretty as she does, but I'm gonna give it my best, and Madeline's gonna tell us what we're making. So when I told her that, or actually when she found out that Elizabeth was gonna be gone, she said, "Mom, I wanna come and do it." And then I said, "Okay, what do you wanna make?" And so what are we making?
An overloaded peanut butter chocolate cookie cake. I used to have this like every year for my birthday, but then I have friends now who are like deathly allergic to peanuts, so don't want to kill them at my birthdays. So I thought we'd do this when they're not here.
There you go. So, and it is a delicious cake. It has been made multiple times in our house over the years. It is originally from Sprinkle Bakes. So if you go to her website, she has amazing recipes, and this is one of our favorites. So let's get started.
So first you'll take a cup of butter, softened, and you'll put it in your mixer with your sugar and your brown sugar. I used a half a cup of white sugar and 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar. So now we're gonna make that.
I get to be her sous chef today, and that's nice. I get to clean up after her instead of her cleaning up after me. Don't you like that trade?
No, most of the time that's how it is at home.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so while that's cleaning, we just want to encourage you guys to like, follow, and share our pages. We're on YouTube, we are on Instagram, obviously we're on Facebook, and we are also on Rumble. So all of our videos from all of our past cooking live shows, you can find us on Rumble and YouTube. They're all loaded there. So come check us out. If there's anything that you've missed, you want to go back, because we've had some pretty fun and exciting, tasty recipes for you.
Okay, so now I'm gonna add 2 eggs. And about a teaspoon of vanilla, but most of the time in our house it ends up being like more 1.5 to 2, so however much you like.
I've taught her well. You all know how I like to measure my vanilla. All right, looks like you're whipping that up till it's all nice and creamed, right?
Yep.
Perfect. And just like with anything, this is the part where you have to make sure it's all nice and incorporated.
Yep. Make sure to scrape down the sides because the butter likes to stick there.
It does. True story. Great, so that was okay, we all know how much I love cookie dough, and so this is usually the time in the recipe when we add all the ingredients that we try to see if any of it actually makes it into the pan, but today we'll try to get most of it in the pan for you.
Most of it.
Most of it. There's been more than one occasion where we've made cookie dough just to eat, right?
4 out of 5 times, that's what it ends up.
Pretty much. All right, well, while that's still continuing to stir, we just want to, we'll read a review for you. Nicole Freeze left us an amazing review, and she said that our caramels are so rich and delicious, hands down the best you'll taste. Amazing quality, excellent price, and family owned. So thank you, Nicole. We so appreciate your guys' reviews. We want to encourage you guys to go on. If you have had our caramel and love our caramel, go online on our website, on Facebook, on Google, and leave us reviews. We give away caramel every single week, you guys, for reviews. So get them in there. We would love for you guys to share how much you love Carmel Kitchen with people who haven't tried us yet. It's one way of helping us grow our business in these times of COVID where we aren't out and about seeing people as much. And so we really appreciate your guys' kind words and want to share the love with you by sharing the love with others.
So while this is finishing creaming, I'm just gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar and a teaspoon of salt. And we're just gonna mix that all up real quick. And then we'll start slowly adding it to the butter and sugar mixture, about 1/4 cup at a time.
So you don't get the big poof of flour. Poof.
Yeah, that's happened a lot.
It does happen. I always know when Madeline's been in the kitchen because my mixer will be like covered in a cloud of white.
Organized chaos. I know exactly what I'm doing.
This is true. Organized chaos. All right, so are you a retailer or do you know someone who's a retailer in your area where you would like to see Carmel Kitchen? Give us a shout out. We will reach out to those stores and try and get into them for you guys so we have a local presence where you live, or if you own a store or a coffee shop, reach out to us. We would love to be where you are and share the Carmel Goodness love with you. And we have a wholesale account or wholesale sign up right on our website. There's a click on there where you can go in and just verify that you actually have a store that you would that you own, and we'll get you all set up. It's super simple, and we love being in helping small businesses and being a part of the small business community. That is looking good already.
The last little bit of flour.
I don't know who invented cookie dough, but I think they deserve a special place in heaven. There you go.
And that edible cookie dough that you get at like stores and stuff isn't as good as just cookie dough. Like,
I know. There's no worries about raw egg, right? Some
It's
people
all
eat them on
pasteurized.
purpose in like protein shakes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Rocky never died.
Rocky's still living.
So I'm just gonna scrape down the sides real quick before we mix in our chocolate chips.
So Madeline is getting ready to turn 17 this week. I know if you guys get my What to Make Mondays on Mondays, you will see that I talked all about her birthday coming up, and that this week starts our 3 weeks of birthday marathon, because 2 weeks after her birthday is her brother's birthday. So yeah, we'll have a 17-year-old in the house. The sad part is I remember being 17 like last year. So I don't know how that happened.
Okay, so I'm gonna add a 3/4 cup of chocolate chips and a 3/4 cups of peanut butter chips. We just got the Reese's peanut butter chips that you find at stores. I don't really know if anybody else makes peanut butter chips.
I think there's knockoff brands out there, probably. You can get those anywhere, the Reese's brand. And then we like in our family, we like milk chocolate chips in our cookies. I know a lot of people like semi-sweet, so whatever your preference is, totally go with that. That's just what we use in this recipe. I think the original recipe called for semi-sweet, but our preference is milk, so that's what we use. But you know, as with a lot of things that we make on the show, I tell you that it's super adaptable to your guys' likings. And there you go, look at that. Who just wants a spoon? I want a spoon. If we were at home, we would totally be getting spoons of cookie dough right now. But since we're live, we'll keep ourselves composed.
Okay, so I'm just gonna scraping down the paddle real quick.
All right. And this is gonna bake at 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. It just depends on how hot your oven bakes. So you'll wanna just check it at starting at about 25 minutes. If it still looks a little doughy in the middle, just keep it in there for maybe a couple more minutes until it's a little more firm and your little crumbs come out instead of dough when you kind of check it.
Okay, so we'll just pop this right in here real quick. This is just a, what size is it?
This is a 10-inch pan. And I prepared it, let me show you. I prepared it the way we did last week when we made our cakes. I just sprayed it with some cooking oil. I put a parchment round in there and I flipped it over so both sides were coated. And then I took a little bit of flour and sprinkled it in there and tapped out the excess. And this will make removing the cookie when it's done baking really easy. I know it's really thick cookie dough, isn't it?
Yeah, I need it.
So why don't you tell people about you? What's your favorite subject in school right now?
Probably leadership.
Leadership?
Student council.
Yeah, that's where she gets to have the most fun, that's why.
No.
What real class do you like the best?
Probably English.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was always my favorite in school too. Although we were super excited, she brought home her high honor roll certificate yesterday from school. She got a 4.0 this last semester. I think she's had one every semester since she started, so super proud of her. So she's multi-talented, not only at school, but in the kitchen. Yeah, good enough. That gives us a little bit extra to eat after we're done.
I see nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, where did my little spatula go? Okay, yeah, you want to just spread that out? Explain what you're doing then.
Yep, so all we have to, so you'll just spread out the cookie dough so it's a nice and even layer. Like any cookie, it'll spread out a little in the oven, but this just makes sure that it doesn't get all wonky when we go to frost it and decorate it.
Yeah, makes it bake a little more evenly.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
All right, looks delicious.
Okay, so we'll pop this in the oven at 350.
Yep, we'll do that. Okay, what's next?
The peanut butter frosting.
Okay, so for the sake of time, we already have a cookie that we made last night that will be frosting, but we're just gonna show you how easy it is to put together this delicious peanut butter frosting. And this frosting would be amazing on chocolate cupcakes as well. So you can use it for more than just this. It's kind of if you wanted to do, how about a cookie dough stuffed chocolate cupcake with peanut butter frosting? Sounds pretty tasty. I like that idea. All right, I'm still taking suggestions on things you think I should make for St. Patrick's Day, guys. So if you've got ideas, I know someone last week suggested a bread pudding with our bourbon caramel sauce on it, and I think that is something I would like to do because I have never made a bread pudding before.
You've been wanting to do that since like day one.
I have been. It's been on my bucket list for a long time. So that might be a good option.
Yeah.
What do you think?
My vote is anything mint Oreo. So
Mint Oreo. There you go.
top notch.
All right.
So anyway, I just put in a cup of butter into the mixture, and I'm gonna start mixing that until it's nice and fluffy.
So if you guys, yep, I'll get it. I'll get some. Yep. Hold on, 1 minute.
Okay, so I'm just whipping up the butter so it's nice and fluffy so you get a light and airy frosting. This frosting ends up being like really like airy, but also it ends up being light, but also like a super dense and creamy frosting. It's really good. Yep. So now that we got our butter nice and whipped up, I'm gonna add half a cup of peanut butter to the mixture, and we'll mix that until it's like super fluffy. Now, my sister's gonna be really jealous because she's the peanut butter fanatic in the house. So she was really excited when we found that we were gonna end up making like 3 of these cakes.
So live TV, sometimes you don't always have all of your ingredients ready, so I had to go and get the powdered sugar because to say before we forgot an ingredient, that every time you order online, you get a what to put it on card, and it gives you, has all of our 6 year-round flavors on here and gives you great ideas of things that you can do with your caramel sauce other than a spoon or on ice cream. This is the #1 question we get, what do I put it on besides ice cream? It's every single time we get those questions, and so this gives you a little bit of ideas that you can do. Some outside the box thinking with our, especially our bourbon and our chipotle, because we use them on a lot of savory dishes, so you don't always have to think sweet when you think caramel.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you can see this really, but the frosting now is super light and fluffy. It's kind of a creamy tan color, and that's what it should be. The butter and peanut butter should be nice and incorporated. So now I'm going to add just a pinch of salt right into the frosting, and then I'll add 3 cups of powdered sugar, about a ½ cup at a time.
This is when it usually goes poof.
Yeah, so you gotta start out slow.
There you go.
You start a little bit.
There we go. So she'll incorporate each ½ cup as she goes, and then she will add some more. That way it gets all nice and incorporated and takes out some of those lumps that you get in there. So back to our what to put it on cards. Every time you order from us online, you get a what to put it on card with it. So if you are sending this as a gift and you're concerned that whoever you're giving it to may not know what to do with it, do not worry. It has a whole list of ideas that come with it. It also includes this great recipe for caramel corn on it as well. So you get a recipe to start off with right at the onset of ordering. So best way to store your caramel sauce, we get this question a lot too, is on its cap at room temperature, just like this. This keeps the air from getting to your caramel and helps it stay fresher longer. You do not have to refrigerate it. It is shelf stable. We just suggest that you use it within the first 6 months of opening for the freshest caramel experience that you can have. And another question that we get a lot about is separation. What happens if there's some separation on the bottom of the bottle? And separation is a very natural occurring process in caramel. We do not use any preservatives. We don't use any emulsifiers. So there are a couple flavors, namely bourbon, that has a little bit of extra sugar from the bourbon that we put into it that separates out of your caramel if it sits around a little longer. So no worries, you just either pop it in the microwave for like 5-10 seconds at a time, because caramel will blow up your microwave if you let it sit in there too long. Or you put it in a warm water bath, let it get warm, and then you just shake it up to reincorporate. My husband likes the little bourbon separation on the bottom. He thinks it's the best bite because it's like that concentrated bourbon flavor.
Caramel extract.
Yeah, the caramel bourbon extract. Yes, so it is yummy and tasty too. All right, oh, I can smell that. That smells amazing. One of these days we're gonna invent television that smells, so you guys can smell how amazing this is.
Yep, so I'm on my 5th ½ cup right now, so I'll add 1 more. And then the peanut butter frosting will start to clump up a little bit, but don't worry, we're gonna add heavy cream and then it'll all come and smooth together.
So Madeline, when she was a freshman in high school, yeah, she took cooking classes with a local chef here for a couple of years, and he invited her and another one of his students to do Chef Battle Spokane, and they won People's Choice Award. So she's been on stage competing in front of lots of people before, so she's not a stranger to the kitchen, which is really nice, because probably, I don't know, 4 out of 7 nights she's making dinner for us. So if I have any suggestions for you guys, or any suggestions for you guys who have little kids, start teaching them how to cook at a very young age, and by the time they're in middle school, high school, your dinner duties will be drastically reduced. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, and also you don't have to worry about leaving them home alone. I know when they were first starting Carmel Kitchen, we were home alone a lot of the times because they had to go and work at the shop, and she knew that I would be okay in the kitchen and not burn the house down.
True.
So it's really nice. And like I've
Really
talked to like a lot of my friends, and like they know how to cook, but they don't like know how to cook.
They like to make
So-
mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where she makes like homemade mac and cheese. Yeah. Not out of the box, which is really nice. We love it. So, super important skill for all your kids to learn, just to, because, you know, when she goes off to college in a year, I know that she'll be able to fend for herself and be able to make nutritious meals, and she'll have her, you know, she'll be the envy of all of her other students there, because she'll be the only one knowing, not eating out of a box.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm not super thrilled about living in a dorm is you can't really put a kitchen in a dorm room. So
No, not very easy. Gotta get you a hot plate.
Yep.
And an Instant Pot. Hot plate and Instant Pot, that's all you need.
That's literally all you need.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little splash of heavy cream at a time. It calls for like 1 to 2 tablespoons, but it doesn't take a lot, so just be careful when you add it. Start slow, because you can always add more, you can't take away.
Yep. This is true. Okay, I'm gonna bring over this cookie. So this is the finished cookie, you guys. Can you see like how amazing this is? Like you could just like cut slices of this as a pie and eat it on its own. That's what Brad would probably prefer to do, because he's, like we've said, he's a sweet guy, but he's not a sweets guy. So he would like it like that, with maybe a little drizzle of chocolate caramel or bourbon caramel over it, and that's totally fine too if that's the way you roll, but the kids and I, we do things over the top, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with over the top.
Nothing wrong, see? Nothing wrong with over the top.
Life's best moments happen over the top.
There you go. I don't know if I like that comment coming out of a 17-year-old, but we'll roll with it in the kitchen. All right, are we ready to frost? This is the best part, you guys. This is where we're gonna put it all together, and then we get to take slices and eat it. And I'm super excited about that. So while she's doing that, I want to give a shout out to one of our retailers, Schoolhouse Produce. They are located in Redmond, Oregon. So that's not far from Bend. You guys, that's an awesome place to go. It's beautiful there. I love that area. And they are located at 1430 Southwest Highlands Avenue. There is a link to their store and their address in our description of our live. And they are a great fresh produce store. They also have a ton of really neat, eclectic specialty food items. So some things that you won't necessarily find in your grocery store, which we love. So that's exactly the type of store that we love doing business with, someone who wants to have high quality products in their store. So go check them out if you are in the Redmond or Bend area. So love them.
Yep. So I'm just gonna use an offset spatula and gently just... An actual one over there.
There's a real one right there.
Oh, nice. That's easier.
There you go.
I'm just gonna use an offset spatula and gently smooth the frosting out in an even layer all around the cake. And you can add as much or as little as you like. We like to add a lot because this frosting is literally so good. Like, most of the time, I'm not a fan of like super sweet American buttercreams, but this is like the exception. This is so good.
You know why I think it is? I think it's the peanut butter makes it not so sweet.
Yeah, it makes it more nutty.
Yeah, and you get the little saltiness from the peanut butter, so it's not like cloyingly sweet. So I like this buttercream, because you're right, we don't do a lot of like traditional American buttercreams.
No, we do more whipped cream frosting.
Whipped cream frostings, like where it's at right there.
Yes.
Is you just can't pipe them as well. So if you have a recipe for a really good pipeable whipped cream frosting and you want to share it with me, I would love to have it, because I've tried several and they say they're pipeable, but they're not. But I'm all about the whipped cream. As you guys know, everything is cream, cream, cream. Yummy. Okay, so while she's frosting this cake, we are going to do our drawing for our reviews. So if you have left us a review in the past on our Facebook or on our Google or on our website, your name is in this bucket, and we're gonna pull one out and you get a free bottle of caramel sauce. And congratulations to Tara Villalba. See, we always pick the names that are so hard to pronounce. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. Villalba. Tara. All right, congratulations, Tara. We are going to reach out to you, and you get to decide what flavor of caramel sauce you'd like. So that's awesome that you get to choose, because we don't want to send you one that like you're jonesing for espresso and we send you like Chipotle. I mean, that would be a real bummer, right? So we want you to have the flavor that you like.
Can you give me a little paper towel?
Yep, I can do that.
Yeah. Sometimes, like when you're when you're frosting cakes and stuff, it can get a little messy around the edges. If you have like a cake platter, what you could do is you could just lay parchment paper down on the four corners of your plate, frost your cake like normal, and then just pull the parchment paper away and you have perfectly clean edges. With the plate we're using, you can't really do the parchment paper, but if you can't do that, just grab a little paper towel and just wipe up the edges once you're done.
That's a good tip. So this girl, she's like her Mimi, and she's like got like 8,000 Pinterest boards, and she's like constantly showing me these tips and ideas of things to do. And so y'all know we got this puppy. She informs us the other day that she knows how to do puppy Heimlich maneuver if he chokes on anything. Like, where do you get this stuff? It's Pinterest, Mom. So I'm sure that was another Pinterest hack that she learned. So who knew?
Yes, it was.
There you go.
Yeah, me and my friends complain that Pinterest has taken away all our creativity, because whenever we need ideas, we just go on Pinterest.
Yeah, I know. Instead of coming up with your own ideas, right? All right, so after it's on the edges too, we want to do a little bit of a rim around the top and smooth that out, just so it hides the cookie. The kind of the neat thing about this is it's almost a surprise. If people don't know that it's a cookie underneath, you're gonna cut into it and see that it's actually a cookie cake, but the whole top and sides are gonna be completely covered with all this goodness that we're gonna put on it, that you're gonna be like, what? That's a cookie? No way.
Yep, and this doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. This is more of a rustic cake anyways, so.
She's not as a perfectionist as her mother is. You know me, I'd probably be in here like making all the edges completely perfect. That's pretty good right there. We'll just wipe down the edges, and then we can start loading this cookie up, because that's what's going to make it really tasty. There you go. Yeah. Good. Okay, there you go. Clean your edges, and while you're decorating the rest of the top, I'll get your frosting in your bag for you. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
So while she's putting the rest of the ingredients on the top of the cake, I'm going to transfer the rest of her frosting to this piping bag, because we are actually not done decorating the top of this cake with frosting. So we're going to do one last little design on the top of it after the rest of the toppings are on.
One of the best things about this cookie cake is all the stuff that goes on in the middle. And the first thing that goes on is marshmallow fluff. So I'm just gonna go pop this in the microwave real quick and then tell you about the rest of the goodness that we're gonna put on top.
Yeah, so you only need to microwave your fluff for just maybe like 10-15 seconds. You just want it slightly softened so it spreads real easy. But it doesn't need to be like piping hot, because then it will just melt your chocolate chips and the rest of the stuff that you add to it. But it does help it to spread out more if it's a little bit warmed up. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to show you this so you can see this finished product. Like, how delicious does that look? And it's, yep, there we go. Can't go through one show without dropping something on the counter. But doesn't that look yummy and fluffy?
our marshmallow fluff is nice and soft. It does not take long at all. Barely any time, and it's super spreadable. And not as sticky, but very sticky.
That looks good. Good stuff right there.
Yep, so just smooth it out in the middle. The nice thing about marshmallow fluff is that it settles down and becomes like super glossy and smooth. So you don't have to worry about making it perfect. And even if it didn't, we're gonna put so much stuff on top of it that you wouldn't even see it anyways.
No, it's kind of like the hidden surprise underneath of it all. It's like this, like, what is that? Because you're not gonna hardly see it at all once it's covered up with everything else.
Oh, I guess that's the whole thing.
There you go. So that's like almost one container full.
Yeah, pretty much one container. All I could get out of that one container.
I think it's like the Kraft marshmallow fluff.
Yeah.
Marshmallow cream, whatever it's called. What's this? There you go. Jet Puff. Yeah, Kraft. Jet Puff. That's what we're using. Just one of those containers full. Just super simple.
Yeah. Another great thing that you can do with marshmallow fluff is and our caramel is super easy s'mores. Just take graham crackers and spread marshmallow fluff and some chocolate and caramel sauce on them, and then you have 5-second s'mores. My mom did this for me one time when I went to camp. She sent me with a pack of graham crackers, a thing of marshmallow fluff, and some caramel, because the camp that I go to doesn't do s'mores. And she could not stand for that, so she sent me with a makeshift s'more kit.
There you go, you guys. If your kids are going to camp, send them with a s'more kit, because they should not go to camp without s'mores. Firm believer in it.
Okay, so now we're gonna put even more marshmallow on here in the form of little mini marshmallows. And you'll just sprinkle that all around, as much or as little as you like. The marshmallows kind of add a nice little balance, so because they're not as rich as all the chocolate and peanut butter. So it adds a nice little palate cleanser balance.
And it's kind of fun to have a little squishy bite.
Texture.
Yeah. Okay, this is
All
really
those
for
good
you.
things. Julia, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now that we've got a nice even layer of marshmallows, now I'm gonna do some mini Reese's peanut butter cups cut in half.
We've got all the stuff there for it. Okay.
I'm on top of it.
You're on top of it. I was looking for all your ingredients and she already had them over here.
Yep, just kind of sprinkle them on however you want. Doesn't have to be perfect.
Nope. The more the better.
Yep, this was about 15, 20 mini Reese's peanut butter cups.
And
They're just cut in half.
what's nice is you can get these little bags right here that are smaller than the ones that have wrappers on them, and so you just cut them in half and just sprinkle them on top. So these are good, and then you can pop a few in your mouth while you're doing it.
Yep, that's what's nice about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, before she found those, she would take the big Reese's peanut butter cups and cut them into quarters or eighths or something.
And that totally works too. So if you don't have those little mini guys on hand, you can get a regular size Reese's peanut butter cup and just chop it up into bite-sized pieces and sprinkle them on top too. So that is a totally doable option. I've done it more than once.
Okay, so this is what we have so far. Don't worry, I'm not gonna do it all
Hey,
the time.
I'm just saying, if the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, that thing could land on the counter.
So we're going, now we're gonna do a little layer of salted caramel sauce, just so that it all looks intertwined, all that stuff. Just do a little drizzle. A little goes a long way with this cake.
No, add it on. Just pile on that caramel sauce, guys. We want you to have that full salted caramel experience.
Okay, so now that we have our salted caramel sauce on, we're just gonna sprinkle some peanut butter chips, like the ones that we put in the cake, right on top. And then before we do our mini chocolate chips, we're gonna do our swirls of buttercream around the edges of the cake. So all you do is you gently squeeze.
And this is pretty thick frosting, so you have to get it pretty good squeeze to get them out. Yeah, this is not as easy as a plastic bag. No. There you go.
There we go.
Just had to get that first one down the pipe. This is where she gets her PE credit for the day. Piping it on. All right, this is looking good, guys. So are you celebrating, do you do something for St. Patrick's Day? I don't know, we've never really done something for St. Patrick's Day, do we? No?
No, yeah, we were talking in my class yesterday. Nobody really likes St. Patrick's Day unless you're an adult.
Oh. I don't know, do you guys do like things like corned beef and cabbage and all that kind of stuff? I think my grandma probably does because she's like from...
Polish.
She's Polish. She's from that old stock of people who like eat cabbage.
No.
She swears by it, like it cures every ailment, I've been told.
Well, I mean, she's
you got a cold?
95, so...
Eat cabbage. Yeah, she's gonna be 96, you guys, and she is joining us here today. So in a minute, she'll come out here and have a slice of cake. And she brought her friend Dottie along, and it's her birthday today. So we have lots of celebrations going on in the kitchen. So
I know, I mean, like, perfect timing. We're making a cake.
that's right. We're gonna celebrate some lives being born. Looking good. There you go. You can just do half for now. Show them what it kind of looks like.
Yeah.
You get the idea. We'll do the whole thing here in a minute, so you guys just don't have to sit here and watch us decorate a cake.
Yeah. So now you just take your mini chocolate chips and you kind of sprinkle them all over the middle of the cake. And then you'll just do a couple little on the dollops on the edges.
It really dresses up those little dots, the little dollops, the little swirls of frosting. It just kind of gives it a more festive look, I think. And a little crunch with all the creamy frosting.
Yep. Now that's the thing about this cake, it's really nice. You get the crunch from the chocolate chips, the nice fluffiness from the marshmallow, creamy from the buttercream and the peanut butter cups. So it all kind of balances out in the end, and the cookie's like a perfect base for it.
Yeah. Put a little more. And to dress it all up at the very end, just along the tops of the outside, it's kind of fun to sprinkle just a little bit of cocoa powder. It just kind of makes it look a little bit more gourmet and festive, and there you go. Perfect. There we go. Ta-da! So you can see a half. I'm going to show them the half of a decorated cake. Maybe you should shoot that way, they can see that better. Okay.
There you go.
You can see that. It is a delicious cake,
So
and we love it, and we're excited for when anyone in our house has a birthday because we get an excuse to make it.
Yep. And like this cake is the perfect example of when your eyes are bigger than your stomach, because you just want a whole big slice of that cake, but really you only want like a slice big enough to fit like a dollop and a half, because it is so rich.
It is rich.
And most of the time, if you take a bigger slice than that, you can't finish it.
You can't. So you have a good cup of coffee or a glass of milk ready for you when you are gonna eat this, because you will need it to offset the richness, but it is worth every stinking calorie that you're gonna eat, because sometimes you just need a little treat, and this one has like every single one of my favorite flavors. It has peanut butter, caramel, chocolate, cookie dough, marshmallow. I mean, it is like the ideal
Yep.
dessert. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you for joining us and for helping to kick off our birthday week.
Yep.
You'll see some more probably desserts ahead of us as the next birthday rolls along, but yeah, we're excited. Get your reviews in, share, like our page, share it with your friends, tell them all about us, because we like you and we like your friends. So, all right, who wants some birthday cake? You want to come and get a slice? Come on in. Okay, let's get this sliced up here. All right.
She wants to see where they can.
Okay.
Yep.
So then you get
Yeah, I'll grab a little plate.
a little plate. This is about as big of a slice as you're gonna need.
Up there, it's like a cell phone. See it right there?
Just go this way. Just go this way. Now.
All right, you see that, guys?
See? Yep.
Amazing, yum.
So good, so rich.
All right,
Nothing wrong with that.
awesome. Thank you guys again for joining us. We'll see you again next week.
See it?
See, there's a fork. You gonna give that?
Yeah.
Start handing out slices.
You good, Daddy?
Thank you.
Tiny, tiny for me.
Okay.
Because it's so rich.